So, if you've been following me on YouTube, you may have seen I've recently come back from a Scotland camping trip. And I took a few things with me that weren't in previous camping trip setups, and of course I'm always learning and coming up with new things, so I thought I'd share with you my latest camping setup, so here's what it is. So, I'm going to start by addressing what type of setup this is, and in my opinion it's a comfortable minimalist, which means everything will comfortably fit in one side bag, leaving the other free for clothes and other things, and it's a practical setup to do your cooking, and you've got all your comfortable pieces with you. So we'll start with the tents. I take a Slummet Inca 1 for one person trip, and a Slummet Cub 2 for a two-person trip. Now both of these tents are ideal for me because they set up very quickly, and they set down and they don't involve poles, so that's my personal preference. So next we've got my sleeping bag, and that is a 3-season lightweight sleeping bag, and I'm not going to recommend this brand as it's probably not the best out there, but for me it's perfect, so that's the sleeping bag. And then we move on to packing cubes. Now packing cubes are great. You can literally put all your essentials in one, so your socks and undies in one, and then your shower bits and pieces in another, so it keeps everything nice and organised in your side bag. And then I like to take with me a laundry bag, so you can stick all your dirty washing in, and that can be sealed off separately from everything else that's still clean in your bike. Now this is the main one I keep, and this has everything inside, and this fits really snugly into my side bag, so here's what's inside of this one. I've got a lantern, which I've had for many years, and it's not really let me down that much. We've got a microfiber towel, which is fairly large. I think it's about 1.5 metres by 1 metre. Yeah, 1.5 metres by 80 centimetres, 0.8 metres. And then I've got one of these T6 torches. If you look them up on the internet, they're very powerful, and the battery life is fairly good, so it's a nice little torch to have. I've then got a pillow. Now you can use inflatable pillows or whatever, but I prefer this type, which is a realistically nice pillow. And the back's made of this material which doesn't get completely wet from the ground of the tent if it gets cold, so it's a nice practical pillow. Then we've got my inflatable air vent. Now these fold down really small, and you can pick them up from anywhere between £20 and kind of like £200, but at the end of the day, if you read the material they're made of, they're all made of the same specification material, so don't go wasting your money on very expensive air beds. In fact, I know most motorcyclists who just use a, is it a lino, one that you use in the swimming pool, and you pick them up for £3, so yeah, it's kind of your personal preference. Next is a Romix ground sheet. Now I'm just going to point out that I'm not sponsored by any of these companies. These are all purchases I've made on my behalf for my own personal benefits, so I don't get any money from any of these companies. This is all my genuine kind of experience and purchases that I've made. And this ground sheet's very good. It's a nice size, and what you do is you just throw stones in the corners and it weighs it down and stops it from going everywhere. And of course it's very small when you fold it back up, so it's very good. Then I've got waterproofs. Now all of my waterproofs are from Regatta because it's a renowned make for good waterproof clothing, and that includes a set of trousers, and it's made of their signature material, the Isolite 5000, which I'm guessing is some relation to the waterproofing specification, like a 5000mm hydrostatic head. So that's the trousers, and then the pocket coat. Once again, it does its job, it is waterproof, and it's probably salt waterproof as well because they're quite a good brand, so that again is made by the Isolite 5000 material, and it's got a couple of inside pockets, just a normal waterproof coat really. You may have seen this when I was trekking up Ben Nevis. This was my small backpack. It's an 18-litre backpack that folds down into this small pouch, and that too is also waterproof. And it's quite comfortable, to be fair, for one of these small fold-up things. And that is a nice practical camera holder, or just to store in your day trekking bits, so it's also nice. And then finally I've got my electrical setup, which is basically a camping plug to a normal plug. If it's raining, it's not very helpful because most of the plug setups are outside, but you get a nice sunny day, of course you can can sneak over and use a plug quickly. It's not worth paying £10 to charge your phone, so I'm sure they wouldn't mind if they caught you charging your phone once or twice, so there's that as well. So next I've got my water bottle. Now this is probably the most practical water bottle I've used now. It's lightweight aluminium, so it's very strong, very lightweight, and you can't really compress water no matter what you do to it, so it's always going to be the same size no matter what it's in. So I prefer this metal one. It doesn't leak, it's nice and practical. And of course, if you have a water filter, like in this kit here, this is my new small water filter. It's one of the military style kind of things. You just stick an end in the river, like so. So that end goes in the river, and then you have this little nodule here, the tube plugs on there, and then you pump the water, and of course you can fill up the bottle and have your own fresh water supply. And the way this works is with a ceramic filter, which is absolutely brilliant. There's the ceramic filter, and if it ever clogs, you just grab a bit of, I think it's emery or sandpaper, and rub it down, and then it's all good to go again. And that takes out any bacteria and gives you nice clean water. So that moves us forward to the cooking equipment. Obviously I've got a kettle. It's seen much better days, but it's a very good kettle, and you can do hard-boiled eggs and things in there, so that's perfect. Then I've got this. You've probably seen it in many other videos. It's a Ridge Monkey, and I bought recently for it the utensil set. So I've got a spoon, spatula, things like that, and it's just really great to have. You can cook all sorts in here. I think I cooked steak and pork and everything while I was on my trip, so yeah, it's absolutely really useful and great for cooking. But I don't take any pots or pans. They're far too spacious, and this is absolutely perfect. So we'll just move past this one quickly. This is the bathroom setup, which is kind of what you'd expect from any bathroom setup. I'm not really going to give you too much to go on here, but you know, shampoo, a bit of, you know, the old underarm, stop the sweat coming through, a little block of soap. You get these free from hotel rooms, and some spray, toothbrush. This one's very important to me, to be honest. Antibacterial hand sanitizer. Now, of course, you're going to get dirty while camping, so a quick squirt of that to wash your hands. And of course, you can also use this for putting a tyre plug in. You just squirt a bit on, and it will go in a lot easier, and then it evaporates and you're left clean anyway. And another thing is it's good for fire starting. If you're trying to make a little wooden fire, you can squeeze a bit on. It contains a lot of alcohol, so it burns for quite a long time. So it's a great little thing to have. And of course, finally, as well as me toothpaste and other bits, we've got, oh, dental floss. I will mention dental floss. I've recently had a side bag split again, and the dental floss came in very useful for resealing that little thing, and it's incredibly strong stuff, so it's nice and sewn back together. And the last thing is glasses wipes, which are great for the visor. So combined with my underseat toolkit, which has got a little spray bottle in for visor cleaning, these little wipes are also a must-have. And that's the utensils bag. And now into the kitchen. Now this set, everyone always says the same thing. It's never been used for camping because it's too clean. And in my video you can clearly see it's been used. I use this more often than not, and I even take it to work, to eat at work. It's just very well maintained. So we've got 2 plates, dishcloth, 2 sets of cutlery, tin openers. Now these little things are great, but I always carry extra ones because they're renowned for eventually breaking. So you basically clip that on the can and undo your can. It's just one of those small little things to have. And then we've got 2 cups and 2 containers. Now I keep powdered milk and sugar, or powdered milk and coffee, and then carry a little bottle of sugar extra. And this is my stove setup. It's a very lightweight small stove. It's probably the only one I'm willing to use now, unless of course it breaks, well I'll have to get a new one, but that basically unfolds, sits out like that, and that is your setup. And of course you then take a gas bottle. So I've actually run out of gas at the moment, so I won't show you which gas bottle I'm going to be using, but you've probably seen it on one of my previous videos. And finally, a cutting knife. You need a knife to do some cutting, cut your food, this, that and the other. I wouldn't recommend this style of knife, because if the police stop you with it, they're going to say, why do you need such an offensive looking knife? It's probably best just to take one from the kitchen drawer, and that would be perfect. So that pretty much is my entire setup. Now the last thing I will mention is this tape, because everyone always says take duct tape, take Gorilla Tape, something strong. This is from the aerospace industry, and it's by a company called 3M, and it's incredibly strong, it's elastic, it can seal punctures in airbeds, it can seal punctures in tents. It's absolutely brilliant stuff, but I don't know what it's called. I just get it from my works kind of when it goes out of date, so I kind of like, yeah, if it's going out of date you're going to throw it away, yes of course I'll have it. But it's absolutely brilliant stuff. But the numbers on it are 3M #63HD3012-01. So if you can find that stuff, that is absolutely amazing tape. So that's it. That's my entire camping setup. I hope some of it's been of some use to you, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching.